Only in London can you find a woman juggling knives upside down on a 10-foot pole. Which he then proceeded to do, but I got bored and wandered off and heard this lovely lady singing. Then I come across this rather unusual telephone box, not to mention Charlie Chaplin's son in a giant red ball. And then I found more odd-looking telephone boxes. No explanation as to what they are yet. This one has famous name, that one's white, that one's gold. And this one is silver with pictures, this one is a pink Union Jack, and that one is a picture of a child looking at you. These ones are just normal telephone boxes, but I thought they were rather patriotic or British or something. Just down here we've got this really old guy who's standing still for ages. And these people standing here watching, waiting for him to do something, but all he ever did was reach out, tap people. And this guy has the slowest reaction to anything ever. There it is. But what was that? Something touched my shoulder 10 seconds ago. They're laughing. This guy was just down the road from him. I don't know what it was all about, but this just proves that patriotism can be yummy. Very yummy. The National Portrait Gallery, which had very nicely cut grass, I thought, and a statue of somebody, which I'm sure is very important to something. And there were also these headless people with umbrellas, which got me to thinking, why do headless people need umbrellas? Surely is to keep the rain out of their eyes, but they don't have any eyes. And then I noticed that the umbrellas don't have any colours either, so... The countdown clock to the Paralympics, as of the 30th of... no, 29th even, sorry, and the normal Olympics, the 29th of June. This was from 4 o'clock in the afternoon, give or take. Maybe a bit later. Couple snogging. Nelson's column. And of course, a child riding a hobby horse, covered in gold. Powerless Structures Figure 101 is a sculpture of a boy astride his rocking horse. A child has been elevated to the status of historical hero, though there is not yet a history to commemorate, only a future to hope for. Cast in bronze, the work references the traditional monuments in the square, but with its golden shine it celebrates generations to come. We wanted to create a public sculpture which, rather than dealing with topics of victory or defeat, honours the everyday battles of growing up. By Elm Green and Drexit. It was rather nice just to see how many people, I don't know, just find comfort in being in London. And I realised I was late for tea, so it was probably time to get going to my auntie's house via Le Tube. The Metro, if you might say it that way. It looked really busy, and then it was all of a sudden not busy. Going down the escalators, but then you get to the tunnels and you have to walk for miles before you can even reach a train in the underground in London. And there were people everywhere looking at me like I was crazy. But here, this is Simba. He didn't seem too keen on being filmed, bless him. So I went and I filmed a little frog on a lily pad in my auntie's garden. He didn't do much either. And my auntie is in the shed just there, but she's not particularly camera friendly. And her garden is just lovely with the lily ponds. And Simba. Then I tried to find Simba again.
I know you're in there.
I started playing hide and seek. Too cute. This is with cats and being cute or picturesque. Oh, Simba was lovely though. And then the next day I was back on the train from Harlesden all the way down to Oxford Circus. I could have gone to Charing Cross if I wanted to go home, but I didn't want to go home I wanted to go shopping, and of course, what's the first thing you find when you get to Oxford Circus? I mean, Ireland is pretty obvious, but some people might not get it. Spider-Man, obviously, posing for photos, not saving or anything, saving people, no, posing for photos. And I love just walking down Oxford Street because you've got so many people who don't care about traffic. Because I know it looks pretty dead on the road right now, but there is so much traffic that comes down here. And then, of course, the first protest I came across.
We heard that people are cancelling their broadband subscriptions in protest.
And then, of course, the Pièce de Résistance that is up next to Tottenham Court Road train station, which is the giant golden statue of Freddie Mercury. Found it fantastic, I think. And I wandered down to Soho Square Gardens, which, well, people just sitting there having their lunch, having their snacks. There's a giant, well, not very giant, but a statue of a man almost falling off his horse, and I forgot to read the plaque, so I don't know what it is. And another white phone box, and some people playing ping pong, as you do in the centre of London, obviously. And another phone box with lots of faces and some feet, but no bodies. And I went over to Chinatown. I thought I might go and get something, you know, nice for lunch. And it looks very pretty down there, and I like the atmosphere. I just wanted to point out the juxtaposition of the Chinese flags and the Union Jack flags together, and then I really started to get hungry, so I left Chinatown in search of food. I didn't get very far. I got to Leicester Square, which unfortunately no premieres going on today. I think I even missed. Well, I think there's one in a few days for Spider-Man or something. There's a giant silver tube, which I didn't get close enough to see what it is, but all the cinemas here, you've got one, which is that one, 2, 3, 4 down there, and I think there's another one around the corner as well, so that makes 5. Back in Trafalgar Square, I found them setting up the stage because, you know, that's the Canadian embassy, which means that obviously it's Canada's birthday, which is actually today, which is the 1st of the 7th, so happy birthday, Canada. And another shot which is all about juxtaposition, you know that word, Nelson's column and the tower that houses Big Ben, and another phone box that looks like the tower that houses Big Ben, and again with the juxtaposition, Big Ben, the real one, and then the mini one, and then a phone box that looks like a knitted monster that says, "Dear London, please look after this monster. He is here to celebrate 25 years of the NSPCC Childline charity. Thanks." And as I was walking down from Trafalgar Square to Houses of Parliament, there was another protest, as there usually is down that road. And this is the Houses of Parliament and the tower that houses Big Ben. And I say that because, of course, Big Ben is not the tower itself. Big Ben is the loud bell which you hear within Big Ben, no, within the tower, when the clock strikes the hour. Now I'm going to be heading over there, quite frankly, and well, I got a bit lost. I couldn't quite figure out where I was, but eventually I did figure out where I was, and I was completely disillusioned. But this guy made it okay, and then this guy completely freaked me out. And I just love being on the South Bank because you get so many people just wandering around, and there was all people sitting on the grass, and I can guarantee you about 75% of these people didn't even live in London, but they just love the place, and those who do just love it as well. And then there's this guy.
Thank you very much, guys! Thank you!
Who I thought made a better show of it than the other guy in Covent Gardens. And then these fantastic flags, which I'm guessing were drawn by this guy, judging them with a smile on his face, and then a giant, scary purple cow. And this guy, silver guy with an axe, standing very still, and then a guy over there, who had music and was posing for photos. And this guy was playing really good music, but then I turned the camera on him and he was like, stop, and gave me a funny look, so I wandered over in this direction to make it look like I was filming the bridge. At which point we started playing again. And the wind picked up, and no matter how much the river bank looks like a river, you are not to go in that water. It is filthy. We got all the way down to out of the park. And this was me on the train ride home. Before you get to London Bridge, you can see the Shard, which I swear is like a modern day version of the Spire from a certain video game. But there's also this tiny giant red, well, it looks tiny, but there's a giant red box on the side, which I'm guessing is maintenance. You'd never get me up there, unless I was bungee jumping.